down, and we want to get air. And that sets off a chain reaction throughout your body. So teaching adults to swim versus teaching kids to swim, right? Kids learn motor patterns so much easier, and they feel and they play and they move and they get fast just by, you know, and you give them a few tips and they learn it within a length, right? Adults, you have to teach them like basic body movements, gross motor patterns, no pun intended, okay? So you have to think about things like how you move as far as large body movements, not as, oh, is the pitch of my wrist off, or, you know, am I breathing out of the corner of my mouth, or am I breathing out, you know, it's like, what is my big rock here doing, you know? Am I moving on here? Is my bum up by the surface? Am I rolling like a log, you know, or am I a hula dancer? Okay, so things like that, trying to keep it simple first. And then as you acquire skill, then you start working on some of the finer point stuff. And I think that's often where athletes will get confused when they're learning to swim, is they get overwhelmed in the little details. Somebody's like, oh, you're dropping your elbow, you're dropping your elbow, you're dropping your elbow. Well, meanwhile, their legs are out here, and they're sinking, and their head's shaking all over the place. So I start, okay, that's why today in the pool we said, let's start with basically floating, right? Let's just float and kick. And then let's just float and kick and be shallow. Okay? And then we're going to add a little bit of rotation to it by getting on our side, right? Those are basic gross body movement, body motor skill acquisition.
Lance, also, from a leverage point of view,
yeah.
You put your head down an inch, your feet are going 2 inches, just because of the...
Spoken like a true engineer.
Yes, it is.
Retired engineer turned adult swim coach.
But if you do, I mean, because people say, oh, I got to really get my head down, but every inch you go down really brings the back end up.
That's right. And further to that, when you have athletes, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in open water swimming, when you're in the open water, you want to look around especially, and you'll see athletes, they have a look, and then they take 3-4 strokes to get their head back down, and then they're looking again, and they spend the entire swim dragging their legs. Okay? All right. Sorry to leave you in freeze frame like that for so long. Okay? All right.
Dave, you said you've got a back problem and you're pinching your nerve. Does it hurt you to arch your back up like that?
No, when we do the film, I didn't hurt me. It hurt me, it's just bleeding.
Okay.
Could it be that you skip mind fear?
Don't worry, we'll get to you. I know exactly where I wanted to work. I'll explain it, but we'll get to you. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, I've actually gone right back to the very beginning of the video now.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is the classic. You're trying to push your head out of the water. You can see your entire head is out of the water, taking a breath, right? Okay. So when you think about keeping the head low and level, when you're taking your breath, one of the cliches you think about is almost trying to get only one goggle out of the water when you take your breath. So if you're swimming and you turn and you take your breath, you just want to get one goggle eye out and get it back down. One goggle eye out and get it back down. And straight back down. Okay? But a lot of us are like getting that whole head out of there. Okay? Look at the leg. Okay? You are the king of the dance floor, I'm guessing. I mean, that's a move, right? The ladies would go for that. All right. So legs pretty bent there, too. So you can imagine the amount of resistance. Okay, so, and then again, look at the right arm coming in here. So you saw the other guys, it was like shallow and long. You can see right away, you're almost going straight into that pull phase without getting to ride any of the glide that you're creating. Okay. All right. And then, we can talk about losing the paddle a bit here, but okay. So your hand is coming through, and you know we looked at Sarah, looked at Anwar, and they're creating this paddle, and they're pushing that paddle all the way through. So you're coming through, and you're your hand is coming towards the palm of your hand is coming towards your chest right here. So you're actually pulling water towards yourself at this point. See? Right? Okay. The other thing, you guys, is that when you take that stroke, you want to think about having a big, deep stroke. Okay? And the reason for that is the water that moves past your body is moving water. Okay? So the water close to your body is actually moving along with your body. Your body is creating a little mini current around yourself. Okay? As you get further away from your body, you're going to have more water pressure, more water resistance. So we're actually quite ingenious when we swim because we find all these little ways to make it easier on ourselves, right? We get our arm in there, we just float and take a short little stroke, and then we'll come in close to our body because it's a little easier to push through here than it is out here, right? It's a shorter lever too. That's a longer lever.
Okay.
Okay? So you can see as your arm comes through, you're coming pretty close to your body, right?
Right.
See? So you're right in that moving water. Okay? It's good that you do extend out a little bit after you enter, so you're kind of entering and then you're, I call it the salute. Okay? Comes. Yeah,
He stops with the hand and water.
yeah. So, we could focus on maybe you're cupping your hand or your fingers are coming apart. I'm just not even going to worry about that stuff right now, okay? The first thing I would say you need to do is just get your head down, get your butt up, and straighten out your legs, okay? And focus on that. So do a lot of that just floating on your back and kicking and thinking about being tall and shallow, floating on your stomach and kicking. You can also kick on your stomach just with your arms at your side like this. And when you take a breath, you just go ooh, and back down. Okay? Put some fins on. Okay? So you can have a little bit of support from your kick so you don't have to bend your legs and try so hard.
Okay.